What we have over here is a continuation of our shir on Tefila, where we did the first 3 brachas of Shemona Esrei, and we were wondering on how to go further, right? The question was to go weekday or go Shabbos, and being that Shabbos is sort of smaller, it's doable, so we've decided to go on the mahalach of the Tefila Shabbos. And being that the alumni website of the yeshiva has requested to hear from the shir, the popularity of the shir has just gone, overboard, that everyone wants a piece of the shir, everyone wants to know what's going on, because we have incredible things that are being machadish here, and we always need to be working on tefillah. So therefore, we're going to have at least the next 3 shirim as we explore Shabbos and the tefillah aspect of Shabbos. Of course, there are many aspects of Shabbos, but we need to know, first of all, what is unique about the tefillahs of Shabbos, that each tefillah is different. Friday night, Shabbos day, and Shabbos mincha, each one has a different tefillah. And to understand, and so we can take out of it and change our Shabbos. Right? It is Yedua, it is very well known, and it's attributed to one of the Ibn Ezras, that Shabbos has kept the Jewish people a lot more than the Jewish people have kept Shabbos. Right? There is something that bonds us together about Shabbos, that it's very important to understand that when Chazal made the tefillas, and we're talking about the Anshe Knesset Gedola that had Nevi'im, that when we're talking the tefillas of Shabbos, within the tefillas of Shabbos you can discover the mahus, the essence of Shabbos. So let's again just try to back up a drop and try to appreciate what Shabbos is. And I want to just give a brief introduction of Shabbos before we actually get to the actual tefillah. Number one, it's brought down on Shabbos that Shabbos is a mitzvah, and on the mitzvahs of Shabbos we have Kiddush. All right, in the mitzvah of Kiddush, just like any bracha of a mitzvah, we have to make a bracha. And normally, if you're taking a lulav and sukkahs, you're sitting in the sukkah, you're eating matzah, you're saying Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Asher Kiddushanu B'Mitzvosav V'Tzivanu. Right? Hashem commanded us what? Leishev B'Sukkah. Hashem commanded us, right? Al Achilas Matzah. In various brachas, Lahadik Ner Shal Chanukah. Everything has its own bracha. V'Tzivanu. And Hashem is commanding us to do something, to do a ma'aseh mitzvah. Comes Kiddush, we say the bracha, the Brei Paragafim. We say Elokeinu Melech Haolam Asher Kiddushanu Mitzvosav, and we don't say the word V'Tzivanu. We say V'Ratzavanu. V'Ratzavanu. Right, what does that mean? We have a shir going on here. I don't want to interrupt this camera that's in front of me, but I definitely want to say Gavaldi Kalo to my mother-in-law, who I know she promised me she was going to watch this. So, Baruch Hashem, hello, Nachas. I'll bring the grandchildren to Hashem for the next year if you actually watch it. Right? Otherwise, it's not. You got to have a fan club somewhere. If it's your mother-in-law, you're in good shape. Baruch Hashem. But what's V'Ratzavanu? Speaking that it's not V'Tzivanu, that we're not doing something. V'Ratzavanu, Hashem wanted us. We talked about in different shiurim the difference between the bracha of Shema Koleinu and the bracha of Ritzei. Right? In Shema Koleinu we say V'Kabel Barachamim V'Ratzon as Tefillah say Hashem should be Makabel Barachamim. Hashem accept our tefillas. Then the very next tefillah we say Ritzei Hashem Elokeinu B'Amcha Yisrael. These tefillas, right? We say Hashem should be Misratzeh. He should want us. And the difference is, right? Hashem guaranteed us that Yidav and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to listen. But will He want us? That's a whole different thing. On Shabbos, we're saying V'Tzivanu, we're not just doing a mitzvah. We're saying Asher Kiddushanu Mitzvah V'Ratzavanu. And how did we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted us? B'Shabbos Kadsho Ba'ava V'Ratzan Hinchal Tanu. Right? It's the Shabbos Kadsho. It's Shabbos, His Shabbos. Hin Chilanu. It's our Yerusha. Hashem gave it to us. So we're not dealing with a regular mitzvah. We're something that Chazal tell us that it's out of the treasure house, of the Beis Ginzai of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's coming out of the treasure house of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us something very special about tefillah. With that, we want to go ahead and understand that Shabbos is very unique. It's more unique than anything else. And just to give you a nice example, when we talked about Betzalel ben Uri ben Chur the Mate. Who?
Done.
All right, Mate Yehuda. All right. But we're talking about, again, it's Parshas Vayakhel. It's a plus out of Vayakhel. I want to push it out because I'm bring out the idea of Shabbos, right? We're in Vayachi, okay? But I want to bring out a point. It says, I believe it's around V, that I'm talking about Vayakhel making the Mishkan. It says Vayas, they did this and they did that. By all of a sudden, in the middle of the Parsha, it says Vayas Betzalel is Ha'aron. Betzalel made the Aron. And Rashi points out, wait a second, it doesn't say that anyone else individually did any of the other parts of the Mishkan. Right? It doesn't say anything. It says, Vayas Betzalel Sa'aron. And Rashi says an incredible thing. It says, why over here does it say that Betzalel did the Aron? It says, because Nasan Libo V'nafsho Alav. He put his leiv v'nefesh, he gave his heart, right, and his entire nefesh on making the Aron. We're not saying that he didn't make everything else carefully. It's sort of like, a kabbalah there, it's showing him what the job done himself. If he knows it's going to be good, right, he'll do a good job. But he did everything right, but when it came to the Aron, he put his leiv and nefesh on it. And therefore it says, Vayas, it's called the Aron, it's called Vayas Betzalel Ha'aron. It's funny, it's unique that you have, when it says the pasuk, V'shamru b'nei Yisrael sa Shabbos, la'asos es Shabbos. And the Farshim asks, where was la'asos es Shabbos? Who's making Shabbos? Shabbos is something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made, and He's giving to us, right? But the more a person puts into it, the more it becomes his. And I was telling my chavrusa before that, if you ever have little children and they come back from Gan, this is definitely the Negea to the alumni. I hope not the Negea to the guys in front of me over here. But your kid comes back with a project, and there's a picture, and he comes back from Gan with this picture. And this picture is something that, it definitely would make Picasso proud, right? But it looks like a bunch of scribbles. And there's nothing to see, Yiddish Mama, right? To see it. What a beautiful picture. That is incredible. That's the most nicest thing, and it goes right in the most prominent place of the house where everybody is always looking on the fridge, right? There is nothing more chashiv, there's nothing that gets noticed more than a refrigerator in a nice Jewish home, Baruch Hashem. And therefore it is, and that's it. That's his project. And if you have older kids, they're going to have our parents lost their minds, right? What are you looking at? But what's the simcha? And of course the mother can tell there's that. That's me, and that's it. It's the scribbles. The father, of course, right? Nasam nafsho. His leiv v'nefesh. He put his leiv v'nefesh into it. And anyone who puts his leiv v'nefesh into it, and parents see that, that's, what else can we ask for, right? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't care about how much the wine costs that we're going to have on Friday night. He doesn't care about what kind of whiskey we're going to have after l'chaim, after the fish, of course, the alumni over here. We're not dealing with first year bracha, right? And whatever it is, how many courses of the meal? Of course, that's part of it. But the idea when it comes to Shabbos, are we putting our leiv v'nefesh into Shabbos, right? And I know personally, I know a lot of very good friends of mine, that to put your leiv v'nefesh, and it's your sole purpose. And if you're hearing this, and it's one of the shortest days, and right now, the time of year in America, and if you have to travel from back where I'm from, the Chicago area, a lot of guys in New York, and you have to leave early on a Friday afternoon in the middle of a project, there is nothing, unless Shabbos is your leiv v'nefesh, it's a tremendous nisayon to actually leave work at 2 o'clock, to get home properly, that you can actually be a mensch for Shabbos on these early Shabbosim. I know a lot of people that have tremendous nisyonos in the working world, because you have to drop everything, and it takes a tremendous darga bitachon to be able to do that, and to have the respect from your peers. Of course, a lot of friends of mine will come to work on Sunday and do other things to make it up. But to drop everything and say that, no, this is what Shabbos is all about. This is my leiv v'nefesh. This is the goal. That's a whole different Shabbos. And what's special about that is, excuse me, the bracha was made beforehand, so we just have the nisayon of getting the siren. Once that siren goes, right, and oh my gosh, I haven't showered, the plaza, this and that, somehow we're also very busy, because it's a hard. But one of the most important things about Shabbos is understanding that there's a mitzvah, and it's a halacha, to be ready on Erev Shabbos. And as a bacher, I once went to somebody, he's a Chassidish fellow, right? It's tremendous. And I got there on Erev Shabbos. And you get the house on Erev Shabbos like an hour beforehand. And normally the scene is is, the balabayas. I don't want to say if he's wearing shorts, not wearing shorts, right? Because I don't want to incriminate any of my cousins or anything like that, but or myself for that matter. But there's sponging going on. The kids are being dressed. It's a tremendous scene that you feel that I'll just go to a shul and I will come back later. The siren's going. You don't know where to put yourself. So I went to this guy's house and everything was just like, he was sitting there learning. His wife was doing something with the kids. I was like completely like, is everything all right? Yeah. What's going on? He goes, well, we're ready for Shabbos like Thursday night already. It's all done. So I just want to tell you that it's possible. That there's someone out there that actually does it. And it's very unique. And it's very unique, but again, we're here at Beis Yisrael, and we try to give over Torah Sinai. And therefore, I'm going to bring you a brisker up, which, the Bachram have to realize that, we're talking about dinim. We're not talking about Musar. Of course, it's a good thing, but here the Brisker Rav says it's essential. It's an essential part of Shabbos, the preparation for Shabbos. And the Brisker Rav is found in Parshas Yisro, where the Brisker Rav compares our getting ready to accept the Torah, right, to the Rambam's halachas, the Gemara's halachas of getting ready for Shabbos. Because in essence, he says it's the same idea. It's the Brisker Rav in Parshas Yisro, where he says that you found that Moshe Rabbeinu commanded Klal Yisrael to prepare ourselves for Ma'amad Sinai. We were commanded to clean our clothes, and he says it's Maduyik from the Gemara in Yevamos that it wasn't a matter of being metahar our clothes. It was pashut cleaning our clothes. And at the same time, where Moshe Rabbeinu was commanded to, on behalf of Klal Yisrael, Leich likros es Elokim. He had to go meet HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It says the Brisker Rav from the halachas of Kavod Shabbos in Perik Lamed, Hilchas Shabbos of the Rambam, that where the Rambam says, what is kavod? What is kavod? That a person's commanded, right, to take a shower and to clean himself on Erev Shabbos. We're commanded to be clean, to be prepared. Why? V'yoshi b'kavod rosh miyachel l'kabbalas haShabbos k'moshe yotzi l'kras hamelech. We have to be prepared and ready as if we're going to greet a king. If we'd be preparing to greet a king, we would be ready. Possibly even Thursday night. The latest, there's Friday morning Seder, so there's got to be a cutoff somewhere, right? You have to have, right? But there has to be a certain level of, am I ready? The hachana is part of it. The Rambam says that a person's ready, he's yoshi b'kavod rosh. He's sitting with a covered rosh, in other words, he's ready, anticipating. He's getting ready for that Kabbalah Shabbos. Aside from that, he brings that there was the Chachamim that Rishonim would gather the Talmidim on Erev Shabbos, and he explains further that he should wear ksus, nakiya, he should wear cleaning clothes. So in essence, he's saying over here, number one, being miyachil litzapo is likaraseh. That person has to be wait. He can't wait. And we say this in davening. When we say yismachu ma'chuscha, we say chemdas hayamim oisa karasa. What's chemdas hayamim mean? We say this in davening. For nusach Sfardi, say it in every tefillah. But we say chemdas hayamim. What is the chemdas hayamim? The chemda is something that you can't wait to get. You anticipate. A lot of the Mepharshim say that's why we say Yom Rishon for Shabbos, Yom Sheni for Shabbos, Yom Shlishi for Shabbos. Our entire, we have a mitzvah, the Chayam, so it's a mitzvah deraisa, that being Zochar Yom Shabbos. But we're always waiting. We can't wait to get to Shabbos. We can't wait to get there. So therefore, this comes to Yom. I can't wait for the next day. I can't wait for Shabbos. So he says this is the Rambam, but on Erev Shabbos especially, I'm ready already, and I'm waiting, miyachil, and I'm waiting for that opportunity. And of course, kavis b'gadim, I'm greeting a melech. I have clean clothes, and therefore liyitzil likras elokim, which is the din covered. And that's part of Kabbalah Shabbos. And part of the Kabbalah Shabbos is actually being Kabbalah Shabbos, and growing the boy challah is a kilo. We're greeting the Shechina, part of Mizmor Shalei Yom Shabbos. That we're waiting, and it's an incredible thing if it's done properly, and it's something that everyone can go ahead and take a shower, right? And everyone, and everyone will have a new suit. But if a person does it for Shabbos, right here, we kind of a mitzvah. And that's what the essence of Shabbos is all about. The essence of what Kabbalah Shabbos is all about. So again, that's that mitzvah is covered. Aside from that, I wanted to bring out that, and it's also very difficult because we're used to davening. We're all used to davening. For better or for worse. A person has a tzara, a person goes to the kosel, a person goes to wherever he has to go. If someone is sick, by the way, we wanted to really dedicate this year for Niso's twin girls, that they're all doing a lot better. It's a Tinokos Bas. They had a name today? Tinokos Bas, Miriam Devar. For Shlomo and Niso, Stein, people know from the alumni, the twin girls this week. And Baruch Hashem, they're doing a lot better. They're born a bit early. Also, that David Fishman had a baby boy, the Shalom Zachar and the Yaakov. Everyone should come, please. All right, that's Hashem. Early, of course, because you got to take care of business. The tzuras of Tefillah is very different. And during the week, we're used to davening because I need something. I need refuah. Re'evion Yenu. We need geula. We have tzaras going on in Klal Yisrael, and we need parnasa. And that's the attitude of Tefillah. The Shabbos, the whole Tefillah is a whole different Tefillah. We're not asking personal requests. So what exactly? How do we tune into it? It's not a regular thing. It's a beautiful piece that a lot of what I'm bringing out is from Rav Shimshon Pinkus' beautiful sefer on Shabbos, Shabbos Malkusa, which is a sefer that changed my life and my attitude toward Shabbos. I encourage everyone to get it. But we have to realize that it's a whole different type of tefillah. And therefore, just like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, there's a different Yom Neraim, there's a different idea out there, there's different tefillahs. There's a different attitude. We Mamlech HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we want to be part of it. During the week, there's another type of tefillah. On Shabbos, is a third type of tefillah. Right? And it's a tefillah of really Me'ein Olam Haba. It's a tefillah of connecting to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, refusing with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and we're understanding that Shabbos is Ois Hi Beini Be'bnei Yisrael Ois Hi La'olam. That we have a connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that connection is happening on Shabbos. And therefore, Shabbos is divided out with the three Shabbosim. Friday night tefillah, this is the Mefarshim point out, is talking about Shabbos Bereishis. That's why we say Atokidash HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're Mekadosh Shabbos. And when you say Vayechulu, it's a proof to that. How do we say Vayechulu from Bereishis? Vayechulu Hashemayim Haaretz Chol Tzva'am. Excuse me. Shabbos during the day is Shabbos and Maimer Sinai, because everyone agrees, whether we hold that Shabbos, the Torah was given on the 6th day of Sivan or the 7th day of Sivan, which is the Machlokes in the Gemara and Shabbos Peiches, but everyone agrees that it was given on Shabbos. And then there's also Shabbos Mincha, which is Shabbos La'asad Lavam, the Yom Shekula Shabbos, which is the Ato Echad V'Shimcha Echad and Ka'amcha Yisrael Echad Ba'aretz. And therefore there's a theme of the Friday night, which is our avoda to understand that Kadosh Baruch Hu made the Shabbos, right? Which is realizing we have to tune into it. And Shabbos day is Lasos, the Shabbos is more that the Torah was given on Shabbos. There's a reason, there's a tachlis that we have to be Osik with Torah, and then fusing it all together, Shabbos Mincha, where a person has done Shabbos right, we realize that it's not regular Menucha, we're not just relaxing, it's a lashon of Al Menuchasam, Yakdishu Hashemecha, through Al Menucha, we're B'Kadosh Hashem. And there's sort of, Pikka says that, if you notice, the main parts, the theme of every tefillah is Katshenu b'mitzvasecha, v'sein chalkenu b'sarasecha. Sabenu mituvecha, samchenu v'shuasecha, v'tar libenu l'avdecha v'emes. And that's the theme of Shabbos. That it's our avoda. Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us this one day, this Chanas HaYamim, where no matter what happens, it's ki'ilu kol malachta ha'asuya. That the klala of b'zeh sapecha tochalechem stops on Shabbos for a second, and therefore I don't have to worry about anything else except tachlis of the world, which is being done in the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That's our opportunity to grab during Tefillah. And if we grab it properly during Tefillah, it will spread not just through the meals, but also spread through our entire Shabbos. And you find that tzaddikim, tzaddikim that they couldn't sleep on Shabbos. Shabbos, how can I possibly sleep? And we're not saying that we're on the dark, maybe the alumni on that level. I had a great grandfather that said Shabbos needs shmirah. He did this after his wife passed away. That's the edus about him. That he wouldn't sleep. Shabbos needs shmirah. Right? It's Shomer Shabbos. Shomer Shabbos. He'd stay up the entire Shabbos learning. It was another pasha. Everyone in his own level. Right? It says v'hashena mishubachas kitas nefesh mishivas. Right? I don't want to say that too much to the Bachar, but the alumni definitely knows what those words mean. That sleep is important, it's definitely important, but it's also if you're a balabas, and it's your only opportunity in Shabbos to go to that shir and to actually have a day. It's a whole different attitude. Shabbos represents a whole different idea. a whole different idea. And it's unfortunate that when I was a bacher, that there used to guy would hear that they want to sleep a bagel on Shabbos. Right? I have to explain that with my kids what that means. Sleeping a bagel, right? Because it's a baker, bagels. You get 12 in a dozen, right? It doesn't exist in there. It's show that idea, right? They got bagels, right? But can you learn a bagel on Shabbos? That's already a different attitude, right? That's a whole different thing. But that's the goal. That's what we want to get to. Next week we're going to go through more of in detail of the actual brachas, but we don't want to work on the attention spans too much. It's the audio. So I want to wish everybody a Gavaldik Shabbos. And of course, just to end off, for the alumni, the Or HaChaim says that Shavas Vayinofash. The Or HaChaim says this in Bereshis. He says the Lashon Vayinofash is it's not a regular Lashon. He says Vayinofash. The Or HaChaim Kodesh in many Pshatim that he says, it says Vayechulu. It's not even on the Pasuk in Kisisa, but it says Vayinofash. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the neshama to the bria. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the neshama. He put the neshama to the bria. He had a beautiful idea. He had a beautiful Shabbos. He had a beautiful world. When it came, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu came time for Shabbos. That's the neshama Hashem put in. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us this extra siyat d'shmaya, what we call the neshama yisera, which is actually Gemara. It's not just a story. It's Gemara Beitza that we have this neshama yisera, this extra ability to grab spirituality, to grab the ruchnius, and if a person uses it and tunes into it, he realizes what's the tachlis. That Shabbos is the tachlis, right? The work, it's the sheishi summon, is just to get to that Shabbos, right? It's just to get to that ability we get to. I wish everybody Gavaldik Shabbos, and we should enjoy every moment of it, the sudas as well as the tefilas, and we should chaper that we should again realize how Shabbos has kept us that much more than we've actually even kept Shabbos. Have a great Shabbos.